Hi, everyone.
Hello.
Welcome back. Or welcome if this is the very first episode you're catching. You're watching 123 Conversations. I'm one of your co-hosts, Candace Thomas, intuitive coach, and I'm joined by Terry Dean, who is a sales and marketing expert and also a creative entrepreneur. And we are so excited that we have a special guest today, Sharon Saraga Walters, who is going to talk about exercising gratitude. And a little bit about Sharon, if you don't know, is that she has spent the past 35 years in the health and wellness world providing fitness training and massage therapy. And she now serves as a gratitude coach and fitness trainer of gratitude. So her books, the 28-day gratitude workout and Thursday notes, and she's got an upcoming book called Graticise 365, which we're going to talk about, includes some of the most impactful ways to exercise gratitude. Now, what does that mean? It means that Sharon works with individuals and groups, helping them to discover ways to exercise gratitude in several areas, such as their self, their work, family, home, and relationships. And she's created a Grati-Fit Test to help clients discover what their gratitude fitness level even is. And she believes in exercising gratitude with intention and calls this action Graticise. Graticise is taking fitness to a higher level, shifting thoughts and actions from our head to our heart. So Sharon, very big welcome. Thank you for being on our show today. First off, how are you doing? Just in general, how's it going?
Oh, I'm great. Thank you. And I'm really great because just hearing the intro and this is really my life's work. I'm so passionate about it. And when I hear others and I so appreciate the opportunity to share all this, I'm doing fantastic.
Great.
Thank you.
Right. So can you explain to us a little bit more about Graticise? Because, we've heard of gratitude and we've heard of fitness and exercise, but I haven't heard of anyone combining the two together. So what is Graticise all about?
Thank you. Well, I said that same thing. How I even came up with this was, I've always exercise has been a part of my world for so many years, and it made such a huge difference when I started exercising. And the other tool that really made the difference for me is gratitude. So for instance, for me, when I got into exercise, boy, what a change that made in my life. And I'm sure many of you can relate to it. I mean, I felt more powerful. I was energized and healthy and creative. Oh my God, exercise really put a creative side to me. And with the gratitude part, I felt it brought a sense of appreciation. I was more loving and kind and nice and noticing things out in the world. And these two just changed me. I loved how it changed me. I didn't want to stop it. So for years, I've been practicing both the exercise and gratitude pieces. And I said, it's time to combine them. So I've made up different exercises to do in order to keep that going.
Yeah,
that's
like
incredible.
Anything.
So
yeah, go ahead. Like keeping fit, and the practice of it. It's just like eating right. You're going to have good results physically. And I think it's interesting too, because I can really relate to what you're saying about exercising and then going into that place of gratitude. My heart chakra opens just so big when I'm out in nature and when I'm riding my bike or I'm really working hard or just moving, right? And I'm outdoors and I become acutely aware of the birds singing and the clouds in the sky or the bright blue sky or the beautiful rocks underneath my feet or the crunching, of the shoes in the sand. And really that deep appreciation sets in. So I think it's very cool that you've harnessed that. And then you're really, again, like Candace and I keep finding this reoccurring theme with our guests, you're leaning into that. And it's really becoming so much of not just who you are, but what you're also doing, what you're offering to share with other people.
Yes, thank you for that. And one of the things about it too is that it's like any kind of fitness or nutrition. It takes practice, and it's every day, every minute practice. Because I've been doing it for so long, but if I do it selfishly so that I keep at it. I really do. And I want other people to see and experience what they experience with it. But it takes absolute intention and practice. And it really does. It's a constant. Yeah.
So how does it work when you talk about combining the exercise and the gratitude together? Is it actually doing exercise in a mindful way, or what does that look like?
Yeah, it is. So the first book that I wrote with combining the gratitude and exercise is called the 28-Day Gratitude Workout. And there's 28 days. Each day has a different exercise. And so for instance, I'll give you a couple of them. So one of the exercises in the book is to give out compliments that day. So one of the days is doing just that. And especially also giving yourself compliments, because sometimes we don't always do that. And you can get warmed up by giving other people compliments. That's cool. Another exercise that is on another day is practicing listening, true listening without giving advice. That's a really good one. All these are really written and good for me as well. Another one is writing thank you notes, taking, and I think in the business world, I think a lot of people are really starting to do more thank you notes, and the power that has, writing thank you notes. People don't forget that. It really is amazing doing the thank you notes. And let's see, another one. I like this one a lot. And when I go out walking, every step I take I just say, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. When I go out walking, and the things that come through me, it's all of a sudden, it's like, oh, thank you for this. Thank you for that. So I call that my gratitude walk. So that's another exercise in the book. So the things like that some can be physical, but others are mindful kind of exercises to do.
Beautiful. That's really beautiful.
I love that. Yeah. I'm really curious to know, what have you seen in your life and the lives of your clients that has shifted or changed as they really intentionally do the Graticise? Like, what's different than before they would have started with your program?
Oh gosh. Well, I'd say for myself, and I've seen it with other people, people have the awareness of gratitude, but until we really set that intention and really do it, it's a whole different world. It really is. I mean, it's helped. And I use those areas. I mean, it helps oneself, because you start to take that ownership of when you're being a certain way, it really shifts yourself. And I really focus a lot with my clients and with myself, in the areas of self, finding gratitude with myself. If I have issues in any sort with work or family, relationships, my home, it's been amazing when you put gratitude into those areas. It's a game changer. It really is. One of the other things that I've done recently, because it keeps evolving of my work, and one of the things that I'm doing now is I'm actually helping people, as I've helped myself, to create a routine. I have designed a routine, starting in the morning. I think one of them, and this came to me only about a year or two ago, the importance of how we wake up and how we spend our morning. I mean, I think I used to take it for granted a little bit. I'd jump out of bed. I never gave any meaning to it. And that is the first thing I start with. In fact, on the Grati-Fit Test, and when I'm working with my clients, that is the first area we start with. How do you start your morning? How that starts your day. It can really do that. So there's so many. So with those, the things that I've told you so far, you can imagine how it really shifts someone's life.
It does. And I think I noticed such a difference in my day. If, you have those mornings where maybe you sleep a little too late and you bounce out of bed and everything's just kind of harried through the whole day, it feels like. But there are literally, I don't wake up, and I know one of the things is, I think you said on your test, do you write right away? I know a lot of people that are writing, the moment they open their eyes. I kind of just start to wake into my physical body and, stretch my toes and stretch and like, okay, I'm awake. It looks like I get to see another day. I'm happy to be here. I have a comfortable bed. I'm warm, so I do live in a place of, just a lot of appreciation and a lot of gratitude, but I don't write in the morning. I should, I just like, I'm doing other things. But it really sets the tone for the rest of your morning. If we just bounce out of bed and go, we're just kind of going, and we're not grounded, right? We're just kind of working from our bubble brain at that point, and not from an intentional space. Candace, I suspect you get up and write first thing.
No, I actually don't. I do similar to you. I have a habit of waking up super early, and I just stay in bed and just enjoy myself. Like, just think about whatever I want to think about and be unfocused and not intentional. Because once I get focused, like my day just goes and I'm on to other things. And so what you just described, Terry, when it's like feeling every part of your body, it was like, oh yeah, that's really showing gratitude and appreciation for, and appreciating and loving all over yourself, embodying that gratitude in those moments, and then coming at the day from a more intentional way and perspective, So I felt like I didn't know we had that kind of a parallel there. And then of course, like once I'm up, and then it's a lot of looking at screens, which I don't really like, but have to at the moment, and then it's writing and everything else. So, but my routine is wake up super early and just be with myself for a minute before I have to do anything, which I hadn't even thought about. But yeah, that is how I just appreciating my time and appreciating not having to do something and expressing gratitude there.
That's great. And that's beautiful. And the thing too is that it's always changed for me. I've noticed, it's not a set thing. One morning I'll wake up and I need to just take some deep breaths and have nothing going on in my head. And another time, and it's so cool with just write it. You don't have to write things down. If you have time just to speak it, it's getting into your soul, into yourself, however that looks. So it can just giving the time, whatever that looks like for people, I think is really important. One other powerful thing that I have found and I share is that every day I try and I try and see my day the way I want it to look before I get out of bed when I wake up in the mornings. Not to be stressed, but just a flow of like, okay, how do I want today to look? How do I want that? So that's been a powerful thing too.
Yeah, and I think so many people are. Go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
I think we have a little lag in the connection. I think so many people are living such frazzled, fractured lives. I think 2020 slowed a lot of people down. That part of 2020 was not a bad thing at all. But I think that, the work that you're doing and making it in a format that's very succinct is really important, because so many people aren't even aware, and then they can go, okay, I'm going to take this test. And it's very simple questions, and you can really get a good gauge of where you are and where you might, want to improve. And then being able to, I'm excited to get your book too, so I can dig into that a little deeper. But you've made this really digestible, which I think is so important, because people don't want another huge lift. They're probably very thankful and very grateful when they see this and how manageable it is, to incorporate into your daily life.
Yeah, that's good.
And I have to say, just tagging on to that, I really liked when you explained the exercises. They were very simple. They're easy things to do. And if you have it spread out in your first book where it's like, hey, like, here's an exercise, 1 over 28 days. So then a person isn't burnt out and overwhelmed by trying to be grateful, trying to appreciate, which I think sometimes happens to people is they feel this almost like when you speak of the Grati-Fit test, it's not like a pass fail, right? It's like, here's things that you can work on and improve, as opposed to the expectation. Sometimes I feel, especially because we work a lot with entrepreneurs, of I want to hit this as hard as I can, as fast as I can, and I want to win, as opposed to this is a way of life. This is a different way of thinking and seeing the world and being, not that you're just going to wake up and like, okay, gratitude, check mark, done. And then, you forget about it.
Yeah, that's a great point. And so when I was sharing with people about the Grati-Fit test, in fact, the first line on that is that when you take the test, there's no right or wrong answer, no judgment whatsoever. Because, and I say to people that, each question, the what you get in there, the results of that, it's a gift. It is such a gift because you get an awareness that you didn't know before. And each one of these, they truly are a gift. And I always share that with people I didn't realize that I really needed to share that because people do see it more like a competition. And I wasn't aware of that, but it really, I've really helped have people see that as the gift that it is. Yeah. With that.
Right. And very cool.
Yeah. And what I found too is that once these easy, I think, and other people have said it, the easy exercises, once you do it, you don't even realize and it stays with you. Like all of a sudden I'm doing something and I'm like, oh my gosh, I didn't have to practice it. It's there. It's just, that's what's really nice, is it stays with you.
Right. And it's the kind of, and the energetics around gratitude are just like, the better it feels, the better it feels, the better it feels. And you want to do it more and more and more. And it's good. So you can just really milk those good feelings, you know. And I liked what you said about complimenting people and how that feels so good to give and offer a genuine compliment to someone. And then you go, wait, I kind of feel like I got that back, even though, you know, maybe you get a smile back from someone and you get that connection and those things are firing back and forth. And I love it. I think it's a great way to, you know, set intention, and it's something that the more we do, the more we want to do. So it's unique in that way too. Some things it's like, oh, I'm on a diet now and I can't have this for the rest of my life. And you just start begrudging it almost, you know, day 3. And this is like, oh no, this feels really good. I want to keep after it. So yeah, it's beautiful. And I love the way you have made it digestible. And we're super excited. We have our networking group here in our city where you're going to hopefully be doing something for us soon. Are you planning on doing more group work going into this year, or?
Yeah, I mean, I would love to, you know, any small groups that want to take the Grati-Fit test. And then we can go over it, you know, I can meet with the group and we can just go over that. No, I love that.
Super fun. It's just like, it's going to be such a fun practice that we can all do together.
Yeah. No, that's wonderful.
Just to help our viewers understand a bit better, what do people get out of taking the Grati-Fit test? What will they understand when they're completed taking it?
Well, I guess let me go through. I have a couple of some of the questions that are on there on the Grati-Fit test. One is about the morning gratitude routine. You know, what is do they do one? And in the discussion, and they get to learn, they get to say, maybe I do, maybe I don't. Let me see what that looks like. So they get to design that for themselves.
Okay.
And, you know, so there's different questions that do that. And it's just the awareness. So, and when people, what they choose, if they have a score that's a little lower, which is a gift, then they can go to those first, you know, one at a time and start practicing that. And the thing around gratitude, I think personally, is that gratitude, I think it's the quickest shift that one can find in their lives. I really do. So it's one thing. And then the way in which it opens your heart. And you can imagine when you go from your head to your heart and you don't even know you're doing it and it just happens. What that happens to oneself in your work and every part of your life. It's amazing.
I love that. And when we were talking beforehand, I saw that there was a question here, and I want to ask it because it's really important. What do people do if they have trouble connecting with gratitude? You know, if they're going through extremely difficult times or challenging times, and it doesn't even matter depending on when someone's watching this video, we're in the middle of a pandemic or whatever. It's just in general, how do people find gratitude when things seem impossibly hard?
That's a great question. Thanks for asking that.
That's a really good question.
You know, I know for me, what I've done, because I know I can't, if I'm going through something, I can't just, and I'm the queen of gratitude. I love it. I just know how important it is, but I can't just go, oh, I'm grateful. No, I can't. Right. So what I do, and other people have certainly, I've heard from other people, you have to be in touch with those feelings. You have to journal. You have to really get real with those feelings. What's going on? So I'll sit down and I'll journal about it, all my feelings. But then what's cool too is that I find gratitude. I actually thank those feelings. I thank myself for doing it. I thank the feelings for coming out. So then gratitude starts to seep in a little bit. And and I've honored myself, to get in touch with those feelings. There was a woman that her name is Kelly Buckley, and she shared, I remember a story about, she had a terrible occurrence in her life. Her son drowned in an accident, and she was called with this news. And when she went to the spot where they were finding her son, they were trying to search and find her son. She shared that, she goes, I didn't know what to do. She goes, and what came to her was, if I could just find one thing to be grateful for, one thing. And that from there, her one thing was to thank the rescuers that were trying to find her son.
Right.
And she has now written a book and helps other people about finding just one thing to be grateful for if you're going through a really, really, really hard time. So those are two things that I think have worked out. In my experience, you guys may have others, and I'm sure other people do too around that.
Right. Very, very similar to kind of how I try to navigate when I'm having a rotten moment or rotten day, or, you've had circumstances that come at you that don't feel good. I start small is kind of what I always try to tell myself. And maybe it's even just like looking at my dog or looking and going, okay, well, it's nice outside. Okay. Not everybody I know is in a place where it's nice outside. Okay. You can step outside and get some fresh air. Okay. Just milk that, just stand out here and take some deep breaths and just really starting. And when you feel like your world is just crumbling around you, just tiny things, and then kind of pull that up. And it sounds like that's exactly what you practice and how you move forward too. And it sounds like that's what Kelly, oh my gosh, like that's amazing, but wow, what a beautiful way to look at it. There are people here trying to help rescue my son.
Yeah.
How lucky am I? There are people here that care.
Right.
Yeah. So
right.
We have to, sometimes it's hard.
Yeah.
But it's good. And I think if people are having a hard time right now, and I think a lot of folks have been extremely challenged, more so than in the past, just, with everything, being able to reach out to someone like you and say, hey, just work with me on this. Like I need a gratitude coach. We talk about how important coaching is in our lives, and fitness, same thing, gratitude, same thing, business. We look to people to help us who are doing better in an area than we are. So it's a really, really beautiful service that you offer. I think it's just innately who you are.
Yeah.
And you've been a caretaker and a healer your whole life.
Right. And there is there's a tangible aspect, I feel, to really having gratitude and appreciation. And when you say going from your heart to your head, I get that, because we see through our stories. So if someone is really feeling like this is never going to work and everything sucks and it's all going to hell, then everything you see in the world becomes validation or proof of those beliefs. Versus if you can appreciate and have gratitude and find good things, even if it's one small good thing, then you'll see more of that. You'll see more of that in the world. You'll be able to see your way out of things a bit easier than if you're holding on to, and I say there's so much stuff. So it's like, this isn't a one size fits all talk. Like people have to use their own discernment. And if we had more time, we could really get into it, but we'll share all of Sharon's website and details for sure. So you can get more, more detailed information about everything. Because sometimes I feel like when we do these talks, we get a little bit deep, but we don't have the time to go into, here are all the nuances and things to consider. So if there's anyone watching here who's really going through something traumatic, we're not saying, and then feel better about it automatically. You might need a different level of support,
Right.
I want to be very clear about that. But I have personally in my life witnessed and seen some of the things my clients go through when they switch to the attitude of gratitude, which is not even, it's like they embody it. And it really is. It's like things that they couldn't see, they see. And it's so trippy, where one time I had a client who, she got invited to go on a national television show. And she's like, no, I've never done anything like that before. I'm not ready. And she literally forgot. She's done tons of stuff like that on a smaller scale, but tons of like being engaged and speaking and getting accolades. But she literally forgot all that she had done. She forgot herself because the fear was so great and so strong. And she was so negative about it. And it was like, no, like, let's just appreciate what you've done and who you are. And then it was like, she remembered. And it was so mind blowing to me. And it made me realize, like, wow, where am I doing that in my own life? Where I'm just having amnesia about my gifts and my strengths and what I'm supposed to do because I'm so wrapped up in it's all going to be bad, it all sucks, and those kinds of limiting beliefs. And when I can just be present and appreciate and accept, it's like those little opportunities open. It's like, oh, okay, cool. Yeah, I can do this. Like, it's okay. I'm willing to take a step into the unknown. And it's always worked out when I do that. So I think this gratitude, Grati-Fit, Graticise, I love that name, by the way. It's genius. You're a genius.
Great.
It's
Thank you.
so right on.
Really
and it's
great.
something simple that people can do. You know, it's something that you do get a benefit right in the moment, and it can change everything. So I'm just co-signing to what you're saying.
Powerful. It's powerful.
So Sharon, how can people get a hold of you? What's the best way for them to get more information, take your test, get your books? What's the best starting point?
So the best way is to go to my website, graticise365.com. And on that website, you can go to the very bottom of the page, on that page, and you can download the test. And then my information, my phone number, email address are all in the website. So if anyone is interested in hearing more, I would love to talk to you.
Yeah. Cool. And we'll make sure we include that information in the link in the places where we share this on YouTube and on social platforms to make it a little easier for people to find you.
Great. And I just want to thank you both because I feel so much gratitude for you both having me on and being able to share what I love and what I want to see getting out into the world. So thank you both.
Well, a big gratitude hug back to you. You know, I just want to say one last thing. I've had this thought for many, many years. I thought if I ever write a book, I'm going to call it, I'm not going to do this, so I can go ahead and say the name and anyone can take it if they want. But I always thought the name of the book would be like The Gifts Are in the Garbage, because it's the moments where we think we're going to collapse, where we can start digging around and looking for the things that are happening in that moment that we can look back on and go, oh God, I'm so grateful that happened. You know, even if it's like the worst breakup in the world, you're like, oh, thank God I broke up with that old schlep. If I hadn't, God knows where I'd be today. So, you know, it's like everything that happens to us, and I shouldn't say that because there are horrible tragedies, you know, that people go through, but just being able to access the nuggets and then grow from there. So thank you for sharing everything that you've shared this morning. We've just really loved having you on, and we would love to invite you back, you know, down the road and have you join us from time to time and keep us in the loop on what you have going on and share your story and share your information. I think this is really good stuff.
Yeah. Thank you guys so much.
Right on. Of course.
So much.
Of course. So Candace, where can people find you?
You can find me on CandiceThomasIntuitive.com, CandiceThomas, Intuitive, altogether.com. That's my website. If you want to talk to me quicker, and I have like a scheduler on my website where you can book an appointment to talk to me. And I also have that information on my Instagram. And so people can slide into my DMs, which I have figured out how to do. If you're not already following me, I can see you now. I figured it out. And on Instagram, I'm at Candice Intuitive. So Terry, how do people get a hold of you?
The easiest way is LinkedIn. My first name, Terry, Terri, last name Dean, Dean. Or you can find me on any of the Fem City sites, and pretty easy to track down.
Right. And for those of you who don't know, Pim City is a networking organization, and Terry's on the board, which I keep forgetting that you're actually on like Albuquerque board member.
Right. I feel like I need to do more for the board. I feel like I need to do more. So yes, I'm on the board.
That's hilarious. Yes. All right. Well, thank you all for
people.
Yes, it's pretty amazing. And we'll have information about all of that on wherever you're listening or watching our show. Yep. Thank you so much for tuning in. And please do, if you're watching on YouTube, like and subscribe, leave a comment if you'd like. And we'll see you back here same time next week.
Yep. Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you.
1